Hello everybody, this is Craig Eubanks from HypnosisMarketingTips.com. I have another little video today, well maybe not so little, that I think you're going to enjoy. It's on the only successful strategy that I think a small business should engage in when it comes to brand building. And this concept of brand building steers a lot of people in the wrong direction, so I really want to address this. It's really important, and I think you're going to get a lot out of it, so let's just get on with it. Okay, so let's get on with the main part of the lesson today, which is the only brand strategy a small business should use, and I mean any small business. There's only one that you can afford to use, because if you try and do like the big boys do and spend money to beat your brand into somebody's head so that they remember it, which is called brand awareness, that can't be measured in terms of is it effective with sales. And you know, if you've been paying any attention to what I teach, that you have to be able to track every dollar and know what the return on investment is. Besides that, last time I checked, it cost over $10 million to build brand awareness on a national level in the United States. And even on a regional level, if you pared that down, I think you'd figure out that that's a lot of money for questionable results. So this is what you're going to get out of this video today. What brand really means for a small business. And this is a really important concept and the way I want you to think about it. Brand revealed as a hypnotic operator. Now, hypnotic operator means something that induces a hypnotic phenomena in a person or persons. And I'm going to talk about how the way you do your business should act like a hypnotic operator for people to remember your brand. And you'll understand it more when I show you. And the third one is the simple formula of success, the only way a small business can build a brand. And if you do it, it'll result in money coming in for you, and if you try and do it any other way, it'll result in money going out and you won't be successful. Now, I'm sure you recognize all these symbols, and that's what they are, symbols. But the question is, do these symbols represent anything other than a company? Because these people spend millions of dollars just so you recognize these particular symbols. But the truth is, does it mean you've done business with any of them? And I can look at a lot of them and say, honestly, no. And it's not the reason I would do business with them if I was going to. That's important. Now realize that these symbols belong to multi-billion, and that's billion with a B, dollar companies that have the money to spread these symbols all over the world so that you recognize them. You can't keep up with them. You can't think, you can't act, and you can't advertise like them. If you're trying to, you'll go broke. And the reason this goes on is because most people in ad agencies think advertising is reminding people of your existence. These people are wrong. I'm sure you've had the experience of trying to put a newspaper ad in and they tell you, oh, you can't just put one in, you have to put like 21 or 25 before people will remember you. That's a bunch of crap. A really good ad will work the first time, and a really bad ad will fail the first time. There's this idea of sticking it out there 27 times is just to make them more money, and it's because they don't know how to write good advertising. Killer advertising is simply salesmanship multiplied. If someone was working for you selling your particular hypnosis sessions, they wouldn't get up and do a little jig and a dance to crazy music and show a bunch of weird images, and then the last one flash up your logo, which is the way many modern television commercials are. Magazine ads as well. Instead, you'd want them to find out what the person's problem was, what their objections were, and to present your solution as the best possible answer to their problem. That's what salesmanship is all about. Gary Halbert, one of the greatest direct marketers in the last 100 years, who unfortunately passed away earlier this year, reminded people of this over and over and over again. It was one of his most basic points, that advertising is simply salesmanship multiplied. And you wouldn't tell your salesman to do anything weird. You'd want them to be very straightforward, honest, and with integrity, and help solve people's problems. That's how it should be. So this is a definition that I found about brands, and there's two really important things in here. One I didn't highlight, which is it says today brands are what they do for people that matters. And then there's a statement at the bottom that says brands become the organization's most valuable assets. And this is a completely wrong way of thinking, and unfortunately it's a very common way of thinking. The most valuable asset for any business is the people who pay you money. If people don't pay you money, you're toast. You're out of business. That's all there is to it. And it's not what your brand does for people. It's how you can solve their problem and the relationship you build with them. These are what really make businesses succeed. This is one of the reasons I'm not very big on the whole idea of branding. I think it distracts people from doing good business and making their customers happy. So what is, from a small business point of view, how should you consider brand? Well, what brand really is, or at least what it should be for a small business, is that brand is your reputation. So when people think of John Jones, the hypnotist, they have a concept in their mind of the quality of service that they got. They had an experience there. But even this is a little bit off. It's kind of putting the cart before the horse, and I just love this photo, so I had to figure out a way to use it. And just in case you can't see, that's the horse in the background, and I label him with the arrow pointing kind of to his behind. But it's a good representation. So what it should really be is, and this is the way you should think about it, is reputation equals your brand. So reputation is experience. It's what kind of service did the person get. And I don't mean just like when they're in your hypnosis chair or from listening to your CD that they bought. I mean from the first contact all the way through to the follow-up. And follow-up is key. Most people don't do it. If you want to have people really talk about you, call them up after a month or two and ask them how they're doing, and is there any questions they have, and you just want to make sure that they still have the results they wanted. Nobody does that. You want to get people talking about you. That's how you do it. So your reputation is the sum total of their experience, and they remember that by your name or your business name, and that is essentially what your brand is. And in terms of, so that's point number one. Your brand is your reputation based on their experience. And what is that? The brand is actually an anchor. This is the hypnotic operator I was talking about. The sum total of their experience in all the sensory areas, visual, auditory, kinesthetic, emotional, is represented to them by you, an image of you, or your business name, however that might be. And that's how they think of it. And that's how it's not how they think of it, it's how you should think of it. It's what happens for them. It becomes real for them in that way. In the same way that when you look at this amazingly high quality drawing of a Coke can that I did, which will be on sale, by the way, in the San Francisco Modern Museum of Art next week, right next to the Andy Warhols. That's a joke. Anyway, when you see this can of Coke, if you've ever had a Coke, you know exactly what it tastes like. And not only that, you know that every other Coke you ever had tastes exactly like that one as well. And I'm assuming they're all the same Coke, not Diet Coke, whatever all the 100 versions are, but a regular plain old Coke. If you had it from a fountain, you had it from a bottle, you had it from a can, doesn't matter. Unless, of course, you had it in Europe, in which case they didn't serve it with ice cubes. But the Coke still tasted like a Coke anywhere you went. Same with this. This is one of my favorite beverages. I love it. Isn't that beautiful? They just look so gorgeous in the glass. That's a Guinness Stout, in case you don't know. And one of the things about Guinness, and the same with Coke, is anywhere I've been in the world, I've had the exact same experience, and it was a good experience. So those brands represent to me a quality of experience that I know I can have anywhere. And it has nothing to do with their labels or anything. Now, I found this photo and I just had to throw it in there. And no, when I drink Guinness, I don't drink them that big, although sometimes I'm tempted. Just kidding. I thought this was a funny photo, so I threw it in there for you. Anyway, so point number 2 is brand is a anchor for experience. So now how do you build that experience? Well, here's what the formula is, and I want you to take this away with you. Superior marketing plus superior service equals superior reputation. Now, why is the marketing in there? Well, because if you can't get people into your business, it doesn't matter how great a product or service you have. It's like the tree that falls in the forest when nobody's around. Does it make a sound? Well, it doesn't matter. Nobody knew it's there, right? And same with your business. So you have to get people in the door, and that's what the marketing is all about, which is why I teach you to have great marketing. But you need to have the superior service, because the fastest way to kill a business is to have great marketing and crappy service. And you'll go out of business so fast you didn't know what happened if that's the way you're doing it. But you give great end-to-end service, you get superior reputation, and what that results in is very happy people telling other people how great you are, and what that results in is a very happy you, because you're getting business from referrals. So I hope you got those three very important points as we went through this. If not, you can go back and watch it again. And I hope that's all the brand thinking you ever do is great marketing and great service, and let your brand build itself. And with that, I am out of here. This is Craig Eubanks for HypnosisMarketingTips.com. Until the next video, we'll see ya.